There is three factors to take into account when you consider the environmental condition. There is a temperature by itself. And the good thing is that the temperature at night is generally lower than during the day. There is also the humidity. Then the humidity is increasing at night as compared to the day in most of the places, and that will be the case in Doha, for example. And then there is other parameters such as the radiation from the sun, for example. So in order to take everything into account, the temperature, the humidity, the wind, the radiation, we calculate a global index that we call the WBGT. It's a bit of a scientific name, but what matters is that this index takes everything into account to estimate the best time of the day to host an event. And in the case of Doha, we have been calculating this index throughout the day, and this is at night that this index is the lowest. So that means that this is at night that the time will be the best in terms of environmental condition for the runners.
We have to be honest, it's a risk, but it's a calculated risk. So we have been analyzing all the scenarios. We have been requesting international experts to help us to analyze what is the temperature we have to face, what is the humidity, what is the combined effect of high temperature, high humidity. We know what to expect because thankfully we have inside Aspetar experts in the heat, in sport. So we made a group and we have been analyzing, and obviously there is a risk, but the fact that all the track event in the stadium will be afternoon or evening, or the marathon and the race walking at Corniche will be early morning from midnight, minimizes a little bit the risks.
And we have been working with the IAAF on a leaflet that has been distributed to all federations ahead of the World Championship, and we are doing the same with the IOC, working on an information leaflet that is distributed to all National Olympic Committee and all international federations with some tips for the athlete about how to prepare. Because humans can adapt to the heat, but you need to have the information in advance because you need a few weeks for that. There is no suicide decision. It's not an on and off response to the heat. The response of the human body to the temperature is a continuum. What's happened when it's getting hotter and hotter outside is that you have more and more difficulty to dissipate the heat that you are producing during the exercise. An athlete is not a chicken in an oven that we just cook by the environmental temperature. An athlete is producing heat. It's the same thing as in your car. When you run your car, the engine is warming up. An athlete is the same. When you exercise, the muscle is producing heat. This heat has to be dissipated into the environment. However, the warmer the environment, the more difficult it is to dissipate this heat. So what will happen is that when the environmental temperature increases, you will have a reduction in the exercise intensity, so a reduction in the heat production also. And this is due in order to maintain your relative intensity. So whatever the environmental temperature, the athlete will exercise generally around the same heart rate, so the same relative intensity, but what will happen is that its absolute intensity, its speed will decrease, but it will decrease continuously. There is no threshold at which we can say it's a suicide. No, that's not the case. It's just a progressive decrement in performance.